Hello everybody, this is Aaron Dominion, and it's been a while since I've recorded a video on here. I'm going to give everybody just an update on what I'm doing modding wise. Some of the topics you'll see, I have an Xbox One now, so I can help playtest my own releases on that platform. I have added a few video platforms I will be using just to supplement what I do here on YouTube. It won't replace it at all, and you will see all the content I upload over on those platforms on here as well. And then I uploaded a Morrowind video. I noticed it hasn't really gotten a lot of feedback. I just wanted to explain why I'm going to be uploading some of the content that's not Skyrim. Then Pneuma Manor, of course, I want to give a project or a progress update, excuse me, on, and then what my active projects currently are. So, I got an Xbox One S, and I have a copy of Skyrim. One of the first things I did, download some of my mods, just so I could see them in the game. I can finally, everything I release on Xbox One, go in here and go through it, experience it as you would be. It will help me engage better with you that are on the Xbox platform only, and it will help me overall now that I have Skyrim on each platform. So, Dailymotion. It's a website originally started in France. It's very similar to YouTube. It's got a little bit of different flow. It's just a little different there. But I'm uploading stuff very similar to what I'm doing on YouTube. I've just been doing it in small spurts so I don't spam the heck out of them. But I can reach additional people that don't necessarily go to YouTube. European presence is typically higher on Dailymotion from what I understand, as well as a few other groups. And this is just the goal of it, mainly, is to just have diversification of where I'm sharing and where you can view content that I create. The next site, Vimeo, it's another popular alternative for video uploading. I'm going to do this mainly for trailers at the moment, but if I, for whatever reason, start subscribing to them or something like that, I might upload my full catalog up on there. And for the same reasons as Dailymotion, I'm wanting to reach additional people potentially that are not here, or not here on YouTube, and then to have content sharing diversification still. So I uploaded a trailer for one of my Morrowind mods. You might have noticed that if you've looked at the subscriber feed. I noticed some people might not have liked that, but that's okay. So in the next few days, weeks, whatever, you might see just some of my old retro trailer coming up. I'm recording them fresh, but it's mods I created a long time ago. Morrowind and Elite Force is places where I did modding before I got to Skyrim. So why? I've been modding since 2006, so I've been in the modding scene for a while, and I want to just share some of that old work since it's part of my history. You might think it's cool, or if you're still playing those games, you might try it out. I don't know. I know some people like to see what people have done in the past versus what they're doing now, and gives them interesting perspective. And I always have mental ideas for work. I played around with the Oblivion construction set, for example. At one point in time, I was working on something, but ultimately that didn't come to fruition. I lost files, etc., etc. But you never know when I'll go to a different platform than Skyrim. So question, are you stopping Skyrim modding? Absolutely not. I have a bunch of stuff I'm still doing in the Skyrim scene. Elder Scrolls I've had since I've been younger. 2006 I've played some sort of Elder Scrolls game. And I have quite a few Skyrim works in the pipeline. And those of you that are here just for the tutorial series, I still need to finish off parts of that, obviously, so I'm not going anywhere. Let's move on to Pneuma Manor now. It's my big project that I hope to get out there this year. Life keeps happening, and I keep getting delayed from being able to work on it that well. But here's what I've done. I've added books that I've worked on, shared on various platforms, just like Word documents or things of them. I've integrated them, and they're on the shelves now in the game. And I also have started work on the portal system that you'll be using to go to portions of the house, and then to the actual main Skyrim world. That way, some of the other features in the mod will work properly. I've also, because once I added everything into the game, I discovered I didn't write enough. So I've started work on additional books to fill out those gaps. It's not going to be a whole lot that's needed, although if you look at the notebook I have, it probably looks like a lot. And then Pyro Toaster is somebody I've worked with in the past. He's a pretty cool artist. He does mainly artwork now, since that's his passion, but he created Xanthys for both regular and special edition Skyrim. He's a pyromancer, undead follower, and he's pretty cool. I would check him out. I will have a link in the description for Xanthys. But I'm working on an alternate universe version of that character. Definitely not going to be a pyromancer. I'm not going to spoil any of the other details, though, since it will be a part of the lore items that players can go into optionally. So here's a few screenshots. There's one of the bookshelves. Notice I don't have much for the bottom shelf and the middle shelf. It's missing a little bit there. And then just one of the screenshots I took of the current portal work I've done. Basically the only thing I've done is set up. This is what I've deemed in other releases, the Necromancer lair on the portal here, and I've linked it up to the main hall of the research area. I'm not going to go into too much details, but that's the test I used just to see if my idea would work. I've got some tweaking to do there, but that's okay. So my to-do list, at least as I've written it down, I've already mentioned I've started work on some of this, but I'm adding additional books into this game. Based off of existing stuff I've added, though, and I've had a few voice actors come to me and say that they would be happy to work on parts of my project when I get to a point. So I'm going to come up with some sort of physical record playback device for one of the lore features that I've introduced in some of the books. I think that will help enrich parts of this world pretty well. And then I need to determine where I'm going to have the Skyrim locations for the portals. Finish progression to Vigilant. It's one of the main antagonists, and then the fight with Vigilant. And then after that fight, there's going to be an epilogue of sorts, just to wrap up the main story of Pneuma Manor. And then I've gone through more design on the Necromancer features, and I believe I have pretty clear idea of what I want to do there. But I need to flesh out additional items there and then actually integrate them into the game. The robot companion, it's a Dwemer sphere, and I need to finish that up just so you can use them on your travels or whatever. Also will provide some commentary here and there. It's not going to be too fleshed out if you were used to some of the full follower mods, but it will have enough basics in there. And then one of my goals, based off of another feature I didn't list on here, is if you have a spouse, your children from Hearthfire, integrate their ability to move into the house. It'll be an additional dialogue option. That's what I'm thinking, at least at the moment. I'm unsure, though, how I'm going to proceed with that one specifically. And then any bug fixes. I have a few bugs that are in the current version, but that's always something that you work on until you actually decide, okay, let's release it. So, I'm currently not working on Pneuma Manor right this moment, however. Recently, mod author Mentha, very known for elaborate player houses, uses a lot of custom meshes and textures, and they're usually laid out beautifully, or very creative, like you have some cheese people in one of the Pocket Realm houses. I mean, their work's pretty cool. So one of the upcoming mods they're working on, basically you have a bunch of bottles and you can summon a follower from those bottles. Gone through a couple of scripters now, and I'm stepping in to help out with the mechanics on that, and making sure that the constraints and requirements for what each of those followers need to do is maintained for both the summoning of them and what they do once they're summoned. So what does my project Billboard timeline look like at the moment? So obviously next week at worst, I think. It depends on just how my schedule is. I'm going to finish scripting for Mentha's mod, and obviously I'll share on my Facebook about that mod when it gets released. I will also continue work on Pneuma Manor Definitive Edition immediately after I'm finished with Mentha's mod, because I really want to get that done before the end of 2018. Preferably sooner, because we are creeping up on October. It would be a perfect mod for that. And then almost immediately after I do finish that, I'm going to go right around and release on Special Edition, because honestly there's not much that will have to be converted in the process. And then the next project immediately after that is going to be the Clan Armstrong Tartan Companions Cuirass. It was basically a custom texture added to an armor that's in the game for the Companions Cuirass. But that's not replacing the existing one, it's just a new armor that's in the game based off the Clan Armstrong tartan, excuse me. And that won't take a whole lot of time. Because I'm hyper-focused on Pneuma Manor, at least in what I'm actively working on for my work. And then Skyrim Bookstores for Special Edition is going to be my next major project after that, and that's going to be a light version released on PS4. It'll mark the last release on PS4, at least for the foreseeable future. And then a more elaborate version for Xbox One and PC. So that's all I have for this modding update. Hopefully that helps keep you informed. And I hope to see everybody on the next video I release on the channel. Thank you.